What's going on, everybody? Here in Accra, Ghana, and I'm talking to Tyrone Jamar of the American Rejuvenation Clinic, and we're going to learn about all of the services that they offer. One of the things that we like to do here is to give you the opportunity to learn more about what the African diaspora is doing here on the continent of Africa, on so many different parts of Africa, whether it be in East Africa, South Africa, West Africa, and right here in West Africa, in Ghana. We want to give you the opportunity to understand exactly what we're doing, and this is another way that we bridge the gap by informing one another about the services that we offer. So Tyrone, man, thank you for having me, and man, glad to be here. And man, we're going to talk about your story because it's fascinating. Okay. A lot of people don't realize that the American African diaspora is here, and you have a full service clinic offering a variety of health services for the population here in Accra, Ghana. So tell us a little bit about what services you offer, and then we'll talk about what inspired you to start the clinic.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. So thanks for bringing me to your audience. First, American Rejuvenation Clinic. We started it in 2019, but what it was initially for was for a lot of males in West Africa, period, have a problem with, actually it goes back to the U.S. as well, is where we don't really take care of our health care. So a lot of us are dying from prostate cancer and things of that nature. So for the first year, actually year and a half, we focused on men's health. So we did a lot of prostate screens, hormonal balance checks. So it was more of an endocrinology that we specialize in. Now we're a general clinic where we accept both women and men, and we do still focus on hormones, endocrinology, hormonal imbalances. But coming here shortly, we'll be switching a lot of things up and rebranding due to some investments coming in. So we'll be going full scale, treating everything, doing some minor surgeries.
Oh wow! So to be really a full service medical clinic.
Right. Well, it'll actually end up turning into a hospital, but now we're really a clinic. So that'll be coming here soon.
Okay. Now that's interesting because I know a lot of people are wondering, how do you go from the U.S. to having a clinic, which will then become a full-blown hospital in Accra, Ghana? How did that happen?
Well, my whole family has I should say a lot of people in my family have a medical background. My aunt ran a chain of home care, home care and group home. Things back in the States. My brother and I both were nurses in the U.S. for a long period of time. I got outside of the nursing realm and started to dive more into the business, so more into administration and also helping hospitals set up in the States, taking government contracts. And before I went back to the States briefly and worked on the COVID task force team with FEMA and different things. But so fast forward 2019, I came down here. This is when we started the clinic. I came previously due to my brother being married to a Ghanaian.
Okay, so your brother was already here.
Yeah, well, he wasn't here. He
got married.
Yeah, he got married.
He got married. Let's clarify. He got married.
Yeah, so he actually met her in Maryland. But so anyways, we came down and I wanted to see what it was about. He kept bragging about how nice Ghana was. So eventually I came down and I'm like, whoa, like this is...
So that was your first time in Africa?
That was my first time in Africa, period.
And that was 2019?
No, that was 2017.
2017, got it.
But 2019, the year return is what really sealed the deal for me. Because I came back 2019 during the year return and met a lot of people, and me and my brother were talking about setting up a hospital here, but I wasn't quite sold on it. But that year returned, and I met so many people in that short period of time.
And that sealed it.
Right, and it aligned me with everything that I was trying to do. And it sealed the deal for me.
That's interesting because, you're from, what part of the States are you from?
Columbus, Ohio.
So Ohio. What was your perception of Africa before you came?
The funny thing is, like, I've traveled a lot, but just like what tends to happen with us back in the States, we go all over the place. We go to Greece, we go to Dominican Republic,
Thailand,
right?
China.
Thailand, Rio de Janeiro.
You had to drop Rio in there.
Right. So like I was bouncing around like that, and I really didn't pay attention to Africa. I always wanted to get there, but it was like on the back burner.
Right.
And so I didn't really have any perception of it, other than what I seen on YouTube and things. But coming here, I'm telling you, as soon as I got off the airplane, it was just a different feeling. I just felt at peace, meeting people and networking and bouncing around. Every time I came here, I felt that peace.
That word keeps popping up when I'm talking to people. Peace, because a lot of times that's what we're looking for in the States. Or don't even realize that's what we're looking for. We kind of like coexisting, or just existing, I should say, in the States. And then you come someplace like this or wherever, and you find that peace. So you found the peace, and then how did it turn into, you're here, you live here?
Right. Large majority of it was me. From 2019, I was coming back and forth, but also, I got my residence here. Started off at an apartment, and then started to go make my connections from the States, business partners to start this clinic up. So that was our mission from 2019 going, was like, we got to put this clinic out.
Okay.
So towards the end of 2019, we got it started with the clinic, but it was, you have to get a lot of permits, and you have to temporarily operate before you get your full, license to operate.
So you mean to tell me you just couldn't come here and just open up a random clinic?
No, it's a lot of.
I put that out there because sometimes people think, oh, I'll just go over there and open up a random clinic and do what I want to do.
Yeah, even the amount, it's not easy. And then Ghana takes, some people think because it's a third world country, you can come and do things overnight. But one thing about Ghana is that you have to take your time. Like,
You're saying that so nicely.
Things just happen so slow here. So your paperwork will be sitting on the desk. And the funny thing is, we had connects inside of the health administration here with HEFRA and these governing bodies. We had direct connects to them, and it still took
time. So could you imagine if you didn't have the connects?
You had all the funding and everything ready, but it still took, quite a bit of time before we were able to open the doors up.
Well, you did well, though. I mean, considering within 3 years.
Right.
You're able to, and what we'll do is we'll take everybody on a tour around so you can see some of what the facility offers. So you got here, you opened up, you went through all of the delays, if you will. Mm-hmm. You opened up. What was it like when you first opened?
It was, to be honest with you, it was a slow, a gradual incline in patients, because this was a new idea that we were bringing here. Mm-hmm. Even though we did some test trials and we went out and did some outreaches before we opened up. Mm-hmm. It's Ghana, whenever you're bringing something new, your biggest marketing tool is going to be education. So you're going to have to educate all the people on why do you need these services? What is hormonal imbalances? What are the signs and symptoms?
Understood.
Because it's not like, some people have, like, you see the chiropractic center right up the road.
Yes.
You can't ignore your back hurting.
You're not going to ignore it.
You can't ignore spinal issues, but with your hormones being off balance, some people get confused about the signs and symptoms of depression and weight gain and, all these things, muscle loss. You may not, associate it with hormonal imbalances.
That's interesting.
Even with women, you have cysts. They have a lot of cysts and a lot of ovarian cysts and mood swings. And even though, that's normal during that time of the month, but
But people don't realize it could be something else contributing to it on top.
Exactly. Even, the estrogen levels in women, it's just good to at least check.
So you test all of that?
Yeah.
You test all of the hormonal levels. You're able to do the different tests. I know you mentioned like the prostate exams and things like that. So you do all of that? Yeah,
we check it in the lab. It's all done by blood work. I always look at the blood work as the diagnostics, of the body. Just like you go to the car and get a diagnostics. Your blood work will tell you everything that's going on. There's going to be a story somewhere. Something will be off. So
and you'll be able to see it and then make,
right.
you know, if the potassium is too low or high, or if the,
right.
the PSA, I guess that's the prostate.
Right, yes.
If that's all for something, you can make it.
Right.
You can catch it at least. Because a lot of, I would imagine, like in the States, a lot of men don't get checked, don't know what's going on, and then the surprise comes.
Exactly.
And
we really ignore it. You know, we might, you know, because it's, as you get older, you wake up with something different every day.
Yeah.
You know, your knee is hurting one day. Now,
something else. You know, I'm getting old.
Oh, you know, I've been a little depressed, but I'm gonna shake that off. You know, and things start to pile up until, you know, the straw breaks the camel's back, and then you know,
it's a serious condition. But you know, I never thought about the importance of monitoring hormones and moods, and you know, whether it be energy or
right,
you name it.
And then the thing is it's not just about taking. Some people are scared of, I don't want to take some shots or, you know, injections and this and that, and sometimes it's not the case. But sometimes it can just be about diet, sleep, you know, even exercise. Like lifestyle changes can drastically affect your hormone levels.
Because adrenaline, that's a hormone, right?
Yes.
And so if you exercise, I'm just, now you got me thinking. Right. Now you got me thinking. So if you exercise, that's pumping up adrenaline.
Yeah, because, you know, all these things are, you know, there's a balance system. So, you know, just like testosterone is, you know, your stress hormone, progesterone. So if your testosterone level is low, now you have this decreased level of stress hormone. Now that kind of makes sense why you get so irritated all the time. And so everything is, there's a, you know, related. Once one goes down, another one goes up or down, you know.
That's interesting. So now you got me looking at my blood work a little differently now, just from, you know, from this conversation, right. Because when they don't teach us this stuff in school. You know, we just go and live and
right.
and survive. But and I don't know how it works with women, but I know as men get older, their testosterone goes down. Right.
Well, the same, women and men go through a similar process. We only recognize the women's process as menopause.
Okay.
But we have a process called andropause.
Okay.
Which is, some people say menopause, you know.
Okay.
But menopause for women is the same thing. It's a decrease in hormone levels. So, you know, obviously the ovulation stops, and then they actually start, their estrogen and testosterone levels drop. So, you know, that's a big imbalance, and it can actually be corrected sometimes even with diet and exercise, even though your production because we're all going to reduce as age goes, right. But it's not normal to go to zero, you know.
So some people actually go to zero.
Some people just drop all the way down. Like I've seen testosterone levels in men go, let's just use a scale 1 to 10, and 10 is the best. You know, you want to be somewhere in the middle to the upper.
Right.
But you'll see people like all the way down to 2, and, you know.
So you can actually test testosterone in the blood?
Yes.
And so you can monitor it and say, okay, your testosterone is high or low, or your estrogen is high or low. Yeah,
and then you can also, there's also sex globulin hormones, which blocks the testosterone from being used.
Okay.
So you may even have a high testosterone level, but you're still suffering, and you're like, what's going on? But this sex globulin hormone may be blocking it.
So that's the, I don't know how we say it. So that's like if the fella's having a little trouble.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
I had to say that. I think I said that the most diplomatic way I could.
So there's medicine and also natural herbs that you can take, you know, to actually stop that hormone from being blocked.
Understood.
And then you can absorb it and start to use it. Because once your hormones are optimal, even from your food, your metabolism goes back up. Things that you eat you're able to absorb them more and use them. So it's very important. It's a lot of times we neglect it because it's usually not a chronic case. You know, you're not going to die from low testosterone levels. So people are like, oh, I ain't worried about that.
And they may even attribute it to just getting older and saying this is just a natural progression and this is just how it is. But I've heard you mention diet and exercise twice.
Yes.
Is that something that you emphasize as a part of your?
Yes, we all struggle with it, man. Like even those of us who are busy, I know you got to be busy like crazy, but we still got to make our time, you know, for at least moving around in the day. If we can go out and walk, you ain't got to be in the gym pumping iron and everything, but move your body, get that heart pumping, and then the diet. Like I think food is what's killing the majority of us. And coming to Africa actually made me realize that, which is crazy.
How so? How so?
My diet was forced to change because there's not a Chipotle down the street or you know,
no Chick-fil-A, no Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's not none of that stuff around every corner. Yeah. So when I'm busy in the States, I actually I just pop by a fast food joint and grab something. And when I came here, literally within 2 weeks, I was able to see a change in my body, like as far as, you know,
everything.
Abs start coming back.
They start coming back. It disappeared. It left.
Right. And even as far as my energy level, you know, went up and everything. Like I'm in the States, I always, since I work so much, I always had a problem with my energy level. Like I've always felt tired.
Okay. But then you came here, and that's something I noticed too. That when I'm here, that piece that you talk about.
Right.
I mean, and then obviously if you start eating these fruits and stuff, just the mangoes and the pineapples and all of that is just like.
Have you noticed your skin feel clear?
Everything feels clear. I didn't. I'm gonna go look at them now. I'm gonna go pay attention. But but everything when I'm here, there's just certain things I don't even think about. It's like my mind is. I was here during I was on the continent during much of COVID. So a lot of what was going on in the States, I was not connected to because I was over here. You know, it didn't impact here the same way that it did in the States. Right. And anytime I would go back to the States, I would feel anxiety because I knew I was like, I'm going back into, you know, that environment. So how would you say environment plays into the overall? Because you know you're dealing with hormones, you're talking about diet, exercise, but then environment.
Environment is big as well because stress is one of the biggest factors for our health, you know, as far as decline in health, is being around stress, you know, constantly or stressing ourselves constantly. So if you're at that job that you hate or you're around people who drain you or too much stimuli is also a big factor of stress. So like because you're not giving your brain time to rest and meditate. So if even when we're driving home, you know, in the States, everything is just full of stimulus, like stimuli. You can't even, and then we messing around our phones all day too. So there's never a time where we get to rest our brain and just like we do our body. We can't, one way of analogy I say, like when you're lifting weights, you can't just, as light as the weight may be, you can't take, even if it's 3 pounds, you can't take that and do this for, you know, you can't just keep doing it all day.
Eventually the muscle
your muscle just going to give out. The same thing with our brain. Like sometimes we don't never shut our brain off.
Yeah, that sounds like my condition. See, I'm getting a consultation right here. I don't know if y'all seeing. I'm sitting there listening. I'm letting them talk, but I need to slow my brain down.
Sometimes you got to, even if some of us, I'm the same way. Okay. I'm always thinking, always. So, but for the past 2 years, I've been able to at least take times in a day where I'm like, turn everything off, do my meditation, close my mind off. And that's my version of a nap, you know?
I got it. I'm paying close attention. And that's, you know, the conversations like this are important for men in general. And I know that you work with women and men, but oftentimes we don't have these conversations, whether we're in Africa or in America or Canada or wherever. Oftentimes we don't have these types of conversations. And so I'm sitting here doing the interview, but I'm also learning because I'm thinking, you know, the things that I didn't even think about the importance of hormones and how they affect your mood and how they affect your overall performance. Even though I knew it intellectually, but hearing another man say it is like reinforcing that information. So you shut the brain off a little bit, you meditate, you do that, you're eating better. What else does the clinic offer? You do the hormone consultations and you do the blood work. So what else do you offer?
We also, this is more like we don't have inpatient, you know, so we do a lot of counseling. We have a full pharmacy and everything, but some of our I wish Dr. Zach was here today, but he's a counselor, he's a physician, but he also is a trainer. He's a physical, trainer, and then at the same, I mean, if you see the guy,
You have trainers in Africa. I'm being facetious,
Oh, yeah.
but people think it is. Everybody's swinging in trees and can't do it, but they do have physical trainers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They do. But he's really good, and he actually from the diet all the way to training and sleep. Like he'll put a whole program for you and walk you through it, and he'll be calling you. Have you know?
I might need to come on here to the clinic. Let me find out that y'all got a client out of this, because he does that whole walk down and tells you everything that you need to know. So they do your blood work, they look at it, and then they put together a plan. You put together a plan based upon that. Okay.
Exactly. So that's so you'll see at some of the gyms here, you'll see our our logo, because we work with a lot of the gyms here and get clients from them as well. Those who are looking to transform things and to at least check. I feel like just with prostate, as a man, we're supposed to check our PSA every year.
Yes.
I feel like the same thing should be done with hormones as well, because from having a low or a hormonal imbalance, it affects so many other things, and then that puts stress, subsequently on our health. So if you're stressed out, you're going to be more prone to everything.
Right.
More prone to blood pressure, heart attacks. So if everything's in alignment, then you're good to go. So I always tell everybody every year, get a full screen. Your blood work, from your hormones to your prostate to your even just a general lab, CBC, all your just cellular. You got it. It's just like a diagnostic. You're not going to keep
vitamins and your
everything.
What else? What else do they do? You do your vitamins. You do
your cellular, your CBC,
your cholesterol,
your cholesterol, liver panel, because we have to stop breaking ourselves down. You know what I'm saying? Like we drive cars. But you ain't gonna drive if you have a nice car, you're not gonna drive your cars for 3 years straight without checking it out.
You're gonna check the oil and everything.
Right, you're gonna at least get an oil change. So how is it that we're treating our bodies less than we even treat our own vehicle? You'll go and get your tires rotated before you go and get a health check.
But that might be cultural.
It's cultural, definitely it's cultural.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, I don't ever remember a training, hey, go to the doctor. I mean, as I got older, the conversation came up, but as a child, we did the annual physicals and all of that because we were children. But once I became a teenager and a young adult, it was kind of like, hey, you're young, you're healthy, but I'd adopted all of the habits, the bad habits from my, childhood, adolescence, now going into adulthood. It sounds like people need a health coach.
Yeah, they do. I think, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people would need a health coach, at least to get them to a certain habit practice, so that they can get to that routine, and then you can start to do things on your own, because we got to start reprogramming ourselves as far as, because I know even myself, back in the States, it took me, I probably didn't even get into fitness on a serious note until probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. I was just cruising,
just living, everything was.
And then some people don't understand. Like some of us have even a misconception of what's healthy. So we go in there trying to be a bodybuilder, pumping ourselves up, but then we eating whatever we want to eat and
not even think about cardio. Like we do weight training with no cardio. And then because because you get a little bit of cardio with the weights, and then most people don't like cardio. That's
that's the truth.
Because that thing that you get to.
But there's other things you can do. I mean, they got the Zumba and the yoga and things.
And spin classes.
So if even go get yourself a bike and go drive.
That's what I did. I went and got a bike, and I did a century ride. I climbed Kilimanjaro, and I did that, and then I was like, let me get up here and make this thing happen.
Because the treadmill is boring, right?
It got to me. I was like, I can't. I'm just sitting there looking at the screen, and I'm counting down the seconds. But the other thing that I picked up was walking.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to, as I was getting older, I didn't want to put all of the pressure on my joints, on my hips, with pounding with the constant running. So I decided to walk, and that worked well also. So, but it sounds like there's another level to this, understanding the benefit of it and why you're doing it. Because sometimes if you don't know why you're doing it,
then you don't you don't feel motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, oh, I'm just doing it because someone else told you to do it. And then if we can just stay in there long enough to feel the benefits. You know, sometimes you'll see the guys who go to the gym and maybe after 3 months they start to see a little definition in their arm, and then they get excited. So just stay in there long enough for you to start to see some type of benefit, and it'll be easier for you. You know, knock those 3 months off, and then if it's weight loss, whatever it is your goal is, and there's different ways to do it. You ain't got to be on the treadmill all day or whatever. And even on the treadmill, some people have this misconception that you have to run on the treadmill. You can walk. Walking is actually steady state cardio is actually more efficient at burning fat than running on the treadmill.
Okay.
So, you know, just if you can afford to get you a trainer and just knock it out for a couple months, you know, it's worth it.
Yeah, and these are words of wisdom, I'm telling you, because one of the things that's part of bridging the gap is also bridging the cultural gap and the knowledge gap. And a lot of us just don't know this, or we know it, but then we aren't in a culture that supports it. We're in a fast-paced culture. Before you know it, we're doing the same thing. Maybe we have young children or teenage children, and we're trying to navigate their lives, and so we neglect ourselves. But one thing I realized is that if we're no good, then if we're not healthy, how good will we be for them and our other loved ones? Now, what I want to do is I want to take a walk around.
Sure,
and then we can talk a little bit more about some of the other things that you have happening. And then again, everybody, I'm right here in Accra, Ghana. That's right. And so you're hearing this and seeing what Tyrone is doing, and we're going to learn a little bit more. So let's take a walk around. Good? You rolling? All right. All right, so let's take a walk around and see everything that you have in your facility.
So the room that we were just in, that's actually one of our consult areas. So it's another waiting area, and that's actually Dr. Zach's office back there.
That's the trainer?
Yes.
Okay.
Then we have a business office here, which I'm not sure, I think, our administrator and our business managers they're out running errands today.
Okay.
But this is our business office. We have another laboratory back here. I don't want to go in there really.
Oh, yeah.
Because they might be processing something.
Right.
Phlebotomy area. Here's another consulting room. Here. So I have another consult here.
Okay. Also, if you need to talk to someone to go.
Yeah,
okay.
So three consult. Watch your step.
Yeah.
I don't want you to fall. And then this is a waiting area. So when you're waiting for a prescription to be filled, or either waiting for to make payment, they can sit here and relax. This is our accounts area, and then also a small pharmacy we have, which is hard. It's hard to keep everything in stock.
I bet it is. So that's your pharmacy. Okay.
Right. So we're looking for, like, we'll be probably switching locations as well. But
so these are your core values, right?
right. Yes, core values.
Your vision.
So this is our consult. Well, I'm saying consult. This is our reception area, and this is where you come in waiting to be seen by the doctor. So waiting here, chill, look at some magazines. And the funny thing is, I was rushed, but I did all the interior decor myself.
You did?
Yeah.
We do sound like we have a lot of comment. You know, build. Don't sit there and listen. Don't say yeah. But right. It looks good, man. Just
even the TV frames and all, we framed them with wood, try to make it look more natural.
Yeah. But it looks good, just so you know.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because I said a nice contemporary vibe. Yeah.
Then we had our colors were gray, white, and orange, which I'm like, how am I gonna work?
But you know how you got to tap in. You figure it out. You say, well, you know what, I'm going to figure out how to do this.
Right.
No, that's good.
This is the nurses area. So when patients are coming to get their vital signs done, then we take them here. and they input all their information into the system and everything.
I mean, this is a full service, and when I say full service, meaning you have the ability to do so much here. I see the pharmacy, I see this area, the triage area. You definitely have the different consultation areas. And the other part, which is really good, is that you have your values and your vision and your mission right there as you're coming in, because a lot of times that lets people know what you're about. And sometimes people neglect to show this,
Right.
you know, and that's so important. And one of your first core values is professionalism, and then confidentiality, integrity, quality care, sustainability, innovation, teamwork. All of those are important when people are looking for someplace, especially when it comes to their health. And so you just keep building upon it. So yeah.
Right.
Now you have some other things going on.
Yes. So I'm also into fashion. So we do some, we have a tailoring shop, and this is actually one of my pieces, but just a vest that I've done.
Okay.
The company's name is Fufua, which is Swahili for to raise up or to wake up. So basically what we're trying to do is get Black Americans or America in general to start to patronize African fabrics and African styles. So I try to infuse the fabric or the style with something that we're more comfortable wearing.
Well, let's can we go take a look at
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
All right, come on, let's go. We'll take a look, because I want them to see what you have happening.
Right.
I think it's really cool. And
We actually walk through here.
okay,
Look like it's about to rain again.
I know, right? All of this construction happening.
Yeah, they
here.
always here in East Lagan and Accra in general. You see buildings being put up every
Seems like every
second,
day.
right?
Yeah. So, what inspired you to get into the fashion? I mean, we're looking at the medical facility, and now we're talking about the fashion aspect.
Well, really, I think most of it was like, I've always been artistic. I even
Okay.
do art, but I haven't had, obviously that's just a hobby. But since I came here, I wanted to kind of abandon my American clothes, right? So I had like Louis Vuitton and all these things.
Okay,
and I'm
yeah,
like,
you're trying to get rid of the brand.
I was giving them,
the brand.
I was giving them away, like,
Hold that thought real quick. All right, see, look,
Right.
pan over here real quick. This is some of the construction that's happening in Accra, Ghana, just so you know that there are so many people who are investing and developing, for lack of better words, but that's what's going on in Accra, and this is actually right across the street from you.
Right.
All right, so we're
Even
about
this building here. This building wasn't here when I first opened up.
This one right here?
This one opened up about maybe about 7 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
See, these are things that people don't know.
So all this was gone.
You know, everybody's thinking people swinging in trees.
Right.
You know how it is. But So
Right.
you got rid of your Louis, what else was the Louis?
Yeah, like even when it comes to sneakers and everything, like with the sneakers, obviously it's hard to find Black-owned sneaker companies, that
Yeah.
live up to the what I need to use
Yeah.
them for. But most of my name brands, other than some glasses here or there or whatever, I try to add as much Black-owned businesses, as far as fashion. So that's why I even came up with my own fashion line. When I came here, I started making my own clothes, from my pants to I got socks I've made and everything.
Okay.
So
So
try
you're
to
Renaissance man.
Right.
I hear what's going on.
Right.
So let's take a look inside of the shop. And I think this is always what I enjoy, seeing and knowing that things are made locally. And guess where? You're going to find out where they're actually
I know
sourced from, which I think is even better.
This is our workshop. We have Lincoln, Pascal, Prosper here.
Okay, so there's a Lincoln over here.
Yeah,
All
Lincoln
right.
is from Nigeria, and Pascal is from Togo.
All right.
Yeah,
Hey, what's going on, man? All right. And this is Prosper, right? All right, so Prosper, and you are from Ghana?
Yeah, I'm from Ghana.
Okay.
Which region are you from? Yeah,
Oh, Baltimore. Everybody?
Yeah.
See. I'm learning. And over here,
Bushira.
Rushira.
Yeah, she's from the northern region. Which region are you from? Upper West.
Upper West. That's near Wa. Okay, so that's above Tamale, and that's near Burkina. All right.
Right.
See, I'm getting this all worked out.
So a lot of these are pieces that are about to go out or that we're doing for someone else, but I'll give you a peek at this is mud cloth. We did some pants and mud cloth, but a lot of our fabrics are coming from different countries. So the kentes, they usually come from here. Then we have mud cloth. This is mud cloth. That's coming from Burkina Faso. We have some materials that come from Senegal, also some from, I said Burkina Faso already, but Togo as well.
And Sierra Leone.
Yeah, Sierra Leone also. So we try to, all of our fabrics have something infused in it where you can see a African print inside of it. But, even some of these jackets like denim, they almost look like jean jackets.
They do. I like that.
But we have the kente fused inside of it. Something as simple as, I have a vest on that. This is kente, actually. Did a women's jacket. This is a textile.
Oh, yeah.
Wooding textile, African print, but we fused it, lined it with silk and everything.
And then you have the bags in the back there. Those are made out of potato sacks, right?
Yes. We're trying to be eco-friendly. So we're using the potato sacks, which is linen, and then we add the batik to them. So this is what we throw our bags in. Try to be more sustainable, more conscious about not using plastics and.
Yes, because that's a problem. We see.
Right.
I've seen it all over.
There's a lot of plastic all over there. Yeah.
Now, one question I have because we bring a lot of people.
Right.
And in particular, when it comes to the ladies, being able to, because one thing that they like to do is come and get items made, but they're only here for a short period of time. Are you able to service women with a fast turnaround?
Right. Yeah. We can. Depending on the day, we do like 24 hours, 48 hours, sometimes turnarounds. It depends on how many people are coming all at once. And then we also do delivery back. We use Ghana Post to deliver items back. Let's say somebody wants 20 pieces or something, and we tell them, hey, we can't get it to you now, but we can send it to your house. So we'll send it directly to your house as well. And we do have a website, fufuacollections.com. You can even go on there and put your custom measurements in. And
get it made like that.
Yeah, and get them made. Pick your cloth. You can call us up and ask us what type of cloths we have. We can walk through, the process with you.
Now, if they go to the website, will they have a chance to see like different designs, or can you recreate?
Yes.
Can you recreate?
We can recreate designs. We even have a place on there where you can upload an image of something that you may want. You see something online that you want us to make, you can upload that image to us, and then we can, replicate it in our way.
So you got us covered from head to toe. You get us internally correct, and then after we get our health in order, then you get us looking fly.
Right.
That's like the whole person. And then if we need somewhere to develop, because you also do development, right?
Yes. I'm also involved in real estate development and land. I work for African Century Solutions. So we're also an up-and-coming business where we're helping. It's a team of us. Team of brothers and sisters that are helping people acquire land here. It's a lot of stories about people getting scammed for land and trying to start a house from overseas and things don't go right. So we're trying to help correct that problem. You'll hear more about us soon.
Okay.
We're still
developing.
Yeah, developing it. The business is open now, but we got some projects that are coming out. I'm definitely going to keep you plugged in.
Please keep me plugged in.
Because
real estate is my wheelhouse too. In the States, yeah. So it's like, and people watch and they know I'm purchasing a condo in Quebec. I'm actually in the process right now purchasing some land in the Cape Coast area. But development, I see what's happening, and oftentimes those of us who are part of the American African diaspora are left out, or we don't know, or we don't see other people who understand our culture. And you know, because a lot of times we come over thinking that it's done the way, but one, we're not really many of us are not really knowledgeable about the process in America.
That's true.
So then we come here and we're thinking, oh, it's like American, and you find out, oh, no, it's a different ball game, and you need a coach, or you need a consultant, and it sounds like that's what you do across the board.
And we all got stories. Like I'm not ashamed to say that I've had my share of, you know.
That's what prepares you. Yeah, that's what prepares you for the success.
I've lost some money, you know, during bad business deals in the past when I first came here, buying land and being sold the same land that someone else has been sold, you know. So now I know all the, you know, failure is your biggest education sometimes.
Right.
So like
I call it experience tuition.
Right, exactly. So we learned a lot. And one thing that you can't do, a lot of times people come here thinking this is the promised land, so they let their guard down. And they, you know, you grow up in New York, you're not going to grab somebody off the street and ask them, can you help me get this passport, get a resident permit?
No.
We're going to get scammed the same way in the States. So sometimes we don't, you know,
we leave our street sense
right.
in the States, and we need to really heighten it coming here.
Exactly. You still got to keep your street smarts in and realize that not everybody's your friend. Not everybody even knows who you are. You may be African descent. They don't know that, you know. They just see you as a foreigner until you know, it's going to take some time for us to.
Sometimes I always say the term, sometimes game got to recognize game.
Right,
sometimes they say, oh, I got to tap into this side of myself that, you know, so you just got to come, one, understanding that once people hear your accent or they recognize or perceive that you have money, the price may go up.
Right.
You know, so you got to learn how to navigate that whole system so that you don't pay American prices for, because that's what I dealt with in Sierra Leone. I'm a dual citizen in Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And so then they immediately wanted to start trying to sell me real estate.
And
I'm looking at the prices and I'm saying, wait a minute. These roads next to these, I said, now I can go buy the same thing in America. And you want to charge me?
Yeah.
So, but somebody, you know, if they're not really prepared for it, they'll romanticize it. Oh, I got a piece of land in Sierra Leone for $200,000, and then you're realizing that it probably won't be worth $200,000 for another 10, 15 years. You know, so it's that type of thing that you go through, and I guess you can help people.
It's true. Yeah, I can help along those lines as well. I'm still formulating things so that, because I have so much going on, so I'm trying to organize things in a way where I can be most effective to my people when they're coming back down. But, you know, don't feel like you have to do everything yourself. And also, a lot of problems that we make is that we're always trying to cut costs and cut corners. So like, we're like, I might be able to get the land over here for, cheaper. This guy is telling me $1,000, you don't even know the guy, he's telling you 1,000 USD here. Sometimes, you know, when things seem too good to be true, a lot of times that's the case. So we have to slow down. Don't try to always cut corners and costs, and do things the right way. Use a lawyer if you have to. Use a law firm to get things done. It doesn't cost that much. Right. If you're spending $100,000 or even over $10K, $20,000, you need to ensure that. Don't go out trying to do it yourself and you have no experience on the ground. Hire a company, hire a lawyer, an attorney to get that stuff done for you, and you know, until you get comfortable, don't try to get out here wheeling and dealing. That's just my personal.
No. What you just said sounded almost verbatim to a conversation I recently had.
Right.
I said, well, you know, why don't you get an attorney to go over that contract to make sure everything is in place? And that's pure wisdom right there. Because a lot of times we try to save. We're thinking we're saving, but we end up losing long term. Right. Sometimes it's best to just go ahead and pay the fee. You know, spend $1,000 or whatever to save yourself $100,000.
Right, and I've been there. I've been like that. I've tried to think I was smarter, and I'm gonna go here and get it cheaper. And next thing you know, put yourself in a situation. So. Yeah.
Well, man, Tyrone, this is truly impressive. You know, I knew about the clinic, but to hear your larger story and how you got here, I believe is going to inspire so many people. And then for us as men to understand the importance of being able to get our health in order, because we just don't, in our culture, so fast-paced, it's not necessarily emphasized.
Right.
So as we get ready to wrap this up, man, any words that you want to share with everyone?
I like to say, like, those of us who, there's a lot of us with talent in the United States, all over the world, and I feel like we need to start taking those talents and coming together to build things. You know, in our culture, everybody wants to be the man, and everybody wants to go out and do things, do things by themselves. But if we look at the way the world works with the Jewish, the Lebanese, the Chinese, they're not doing things on their own. So the more of us that come together on these businesses, the more successful we'll be. We're not going to come out here taking over the country by ourselves. No. You know, we got to work together. So, and this is all, African, I say Ghanaians or African centered people that go back over to the States. They even try to come here by themselves instead of teaming up together. Even Ghanaians here, like Ghanaians who actually live here, you see a lot of them coming and trying to build businesses by themselves. Instead of coming together and creating our own communities and our own businesses. You know, I feel like we need to start teaming up together and getting that on our consciousness. Don't come out here trying to figure out how you by yourself are going to prosper. Try to
dominate everybody and run everybody else out of business, and we're going to do this, and you know how it goes.
Right. So I feel like we need to get more on that frequency of how we can do things together,
Well, you heard it from the man himself. Tyrone, he's here at the American Rejuvenation Clinic in East Legon, Accra, Ghana. And what's the website again? Everybody well, you have a couple of websites.
Yeah, so you can look at ARC or AmericanRejuvenationClinic.com. It's all on Google. FufuaCollections.com is also our website for the clothing line. And I'll hold off on the African Century Solutions because we're still
building them. But we'll come back. We'll do a follow-up.
Yeah.
And then what we'll also do is I'll bring some folks through so they can get some clothes made. Right. And we'll do a feature on that. And I mean, this is how we bridge the gap. What we're doing is we're bridging the gap between Africa and the African diaspora. Right. And we're working together, as you see, they're in here making the clothes right now. And so that's an economy that's been created by way of what your vision is. And so, and it works like that across the board. And that's how we do it. When you come over and you bring your resources, then that supports the local community as well. And that's how we bridge the gap.
One thing I want to say, a lot of people they've seen, so I've been seen on a couple interviews, but I want to make sure that I let everybody know I have not done any of this by myself. I have teams across the board. I have a team with the clinic. I'm working with people even with the clothes, so it's not me just coming out here by myself doing things. I'm plugged in and I'm working with my brothers and sisters out here with the development company. There's at least 6 of us on the board right now, and we're still looking for more people to help with that. So don't come out here. I'm just repeating that.
Right,
don't come out here thinking
you live that principle that you talked about, and that's the good thing. And I mean, because I see the team working, I see what's going on. And if you stop by, you'll see for yourself as well. So anyway, everyone, this is another opportunity for you to come learn more about what's happening on the continent of Africa. In particular, right now, we're in Ghana, and understanding that everybody's not living in trees and swinging off of trees and walking around like Tarzan like they told us. Everybody's not broke. Everybody's not running around confused. There are people prospering here on this continent and in this country in particular and in the 54 different countries. So as we educate ourselves and we change the narrative by telling these stories, we begin to broaden our minds and begin to see things differently. So all I want you to do right now, make sure that you check out Tyrone and all of his ventures, but then click that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button. That's how we bridge the gap. So until next time, take care, be safe.